Hi guys, welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm making pressure cooker beef bourguignon. Okay, I'm starting out here in my 6-quart electric pressure cooker. I have heating up on a saute warm setting. Now normally you put bacon in beef bourguignon, roughly about 6 slices cut into little pieces. You fry it up first, then you take it out, and then you fry your beef in the bacon fat. But I'm not putting bacon in my beef bourguignon today. So I'm going to add a little olive oil in here to fry my beef in. Probably about 3 tablespoons or so. And I have a 2.5 pound chuck roast that I trimmed up and cut into manageable sized pieces, about 1.5 inches each, and I seasoned it with salt and pepper. So what I'm going to do is fry this in 2 batches so it gets evenly brown and it doesn't steam the pot all up. So I'm going to get this in here and get this browning, guys. Okay, now that my beef is all brown and I pulled it out and set it aside, I have 1 shallot here that I finely minced up and 1 stalk of celery, or rib of celery, however you want to say it, that I cut into small pieces. I'm going to get them into the pressure cooker here and saute them for a minute or 2. And I'm also going to throw in, this calls for 2 cloves of garlic minced, but I'm using the jarred variety, so I'm just going to put in 2 teaspoons. We're going to get this going for a few minutes in here. Give this a stir. Okay, now that my celery, shallot, and garlic sauteed for a few minutes, I'm going to add in some carrots. Now I'm using a baby carrot, so you could use 2 carrots cut into like 2-inch pieces. So I'm just going to throw the amount of baby carrots in that I think will equal about 2 carrots. These are already pre-cut and washed, so it saves me a step. And if I get a little bit extra in there, that's fine. I'm also going to throw in 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. Get it down in there. Okay, 1 bay leaf and a teaspoon and a half of ground thyme, and I'm just eyeballing this, guys. Okay, now I'm going to let that fry for just a minute. And I turned my heat off on my pressure cooker because it's getting pretty warm in here. So we'll just cook this around in here with the heat off until this cools off enough. Okay, now that I let this go for just a minute, I'm going to add in 3 cups of red wine. You can use any type you like. I'm going to give this a good stir, scraping the bottom. That way if there's any goodness stuck on there, I'll get it off of there. Alright, now I'm going to add my beef back in that I had set aside. And I'm going to add some beef stock to this. And I'm going to put probably about 2 or 3 cups in there. We'll check it out then. Just enough to go over top the highest part of that beef to cover it. And I didn't put my handy dandy hole in here because if I don't use this all, I'm going to put it back in the fridge. Okay, that's probably about 2.5 cups. I'm going to put my lid on the pressure cooker. Lock it into place. Make sure we're set on airtight. I'm going to cancel out the saute brown setting and set this to pressure cook for 15 minutes. Okay, while my beef pressure cooks, in my skillet here I have 2 tablespoons of butter. Yeah, that's right, guys, I'm using butter. I'm going to saute 20 pearl onions that I peeled so they start to brown. And I'll keep an eye on this so my butter doesn't scorch. Okay, now that my shallots are starting to brown, that only took about 2 or 3 minutes. I have roughly about 12 ounces of mushrooms that I cut into 4s. These smaller mushrooms, just cut them in half. I'm going to go ahead and get these in there. And you can use just about any type of mushroom you want. I'm just using a basic mushroom. Now this calls for 2 teaspoons of fresh chopped thyme. I don't have any, so I'm just going to put in about a half teaspoon of dry thyme. And remember, when you use dry spices, they're more potent than fresh ones, so you want to use a little less. Now I'm going to give this a good stir. And I'm going to keep an eye on this so nothing burns. I'm going to reduce my heat. And if you haven't noticed, guys, this is the red copper 12-inch frying pan. So I'll be doing more videos with this. I might even do a review on it, we'll see. But I'm just using this today to fry my vegetables up. Okay, my time's up, and I left my pressure cooker naturally release. When you cook meat, you should let it naturally release, because if you do a quick release, your meat will seize up and get tough on you. Now I turned this onto the saute brown setting to get this simmering. And I have here 2 tablespoons of butter. I mixed a little flour with to make a paste. We're going to stir this in here, and this will help thicken this up. And I'm going to stir this around good, and hopefully it won't get lumpy on me from the flour. I'm going to let this simmer for a few minutes. Get this bay leaf out here if I can find it. If I can, I'm sure I'll find it when I serve it up. Alright, I'm just going to let this simmer for a few minutes so it starts to thicken up. Okay, now that this is thickened up, I'm going to return my mushrooms and pearl onions back in here. And I'm just going to let this go for a minute till they warm back up. And the lumps did cook out of this, that's a good thing. Now if you wanted this even thicker, you could probably put a flour water slurry in there instead of the flour and butter, but I want to try to keep it as true to the recipe as possible, minus the bacon that I didn't add in. Okay, I'm serving this over a bed of red skin mashed potatoes. You could also serve this over rice or pasta, that would go great too. Now I'm going to finish this up by garnishing it with some fresh chopped parsley. You could also use dry if you like. Okay, there you have it. Pressure cooker beef bourguignon. Give this a try. Thanks for watching. And until next time, I'll see ya.